What is up? What is up? Going to give it a minute here. Just let as many people get on as possible. Probably won't be a ton on for this, but I definitely want to give it the best shot. If you guys can hear me, give me some thumbs up or anything that lets me know I am heard. I'm not doing this with all my equipment like normal. I am here and I am in the Wheel and Trigger studio tonight, doing it because it just is easier that way. Um, People are starting to get on. All right, you guys can hear me. That's great. So we'll just give everybody a minute. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everyone is having a great hump day. It is race day here at Beach Hobbies. I got everybody over there doing their thing. So I'm over here working with you guys. Want to get out some information to the masses about what's going to happen next week and try to convey it the best I can. The one thing that I do want to let everybody know is this is a work in progress. You know, this is a brainchild. It's something that we're starting this year, and I feel very, very confidently. I feel very confident that we will learn a lot from this event this year, and we will make it much better. But we had to start somewhere, and it's all a concept. This concept, I believe, is going to catch fire and take off. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to, feedback after it's all done and moving forward. I'm using my Mac camera, Lance. I'm not too sure why it would look like that. Let me check something real quick. Bear with me, everybody. Where is this thing playing? I don't know even how to watch it. Oh, I'm on the wrong. That's why. My bad. My bad. You would think I would know how to do this, but oh, there it is. Yeah, I don't know. Looks fine to me on my. So thanks for the feedback. Hopefully everyone is good. So, all right. Anyways, let's go ahead and get this started. So, next week, I assume a lot of people start rolling in on Thursday. Practice starts on Friday. Got a full day of practice. Once practice is done at 8 p.m., we will take a short period of time, probably about a half hour, probably to have everything ready and get everybody done and to the spot where we're going to hold the first ever RC Pro-Am Pro Draft. And so we'll do the draft. We'll have some little bit of food like finger foods and snacks and drinks, stuff like that, and listen to music. Have a little bit of a shindig on Friday night, but it all hinges around the draft that we are going to perform, and I will let you in on the draft. We'll go over the draft after this, and then Saturday 3 rounds of qualifying and lower mains if we're able to, and which I assume this year we will be able to. And on Sunday will be our main events and trophy presentations. We're not holding back any punches with this. We're going full production. full RD. Lance McDonald will be our RD. He is bringing his equipment. We do plan on having the great sound and everything that you can expect from any Lance McDonald event. Danny Paz is coming with his entire setup. We're doing moving cameras, pit interviews, everything that you might have saw at Wicked Weekend. Lefty Keenan White is flying in. He will be there to call the race. And Jared Barden, who is up from or coming down from the Northeast, will be doing pit reporting, interviews, and he's also going to be representing Tekin and helping anybody and everybody who needs any kind of Tekin support. So that side of things will be done to the fullest extent. Like I said, we're not holding back any punches. We'll be streaming on our YouTube channel, our Facebook channels, and everything will be archived for you guys to watch back later. You can share it, let people watch everything while it's happening. And I'm hoping, as long as everything goes the way that I'm planning, I'm hoping that you should be able to kind of keep up with how the points are going to go for the team events. So that's all stuff that we're, this year, I believe we're going to make happen. I believe we're going to do it well. And but I also know that there's always a chance with something new like this that's a little unorthodox to have some glitches and possibly not be the way that we envision it. So I don't expect anybody to give us any passes or it's okays, but I do anticipate having a few hiccups just because it is something new that we're working towards, and shit happens. So that being said, I want to move into, I've got some notes here, so I might jump around a little bit, but I want to go over a few things on how it's going to work so everybody kind of has an idea. So let's start with the draft. On Friday night, and by the way, I'll open up to some questions as soon as I'm done going over everything that I want to go over, and maybe even if Lance feels like coming on afterwards, you might be able to squeeze him in here, but with my head being so big, I don't know if he'll fit on screen with me. All right, so let's talk about the draft. So Friday night, the draft will take place directly after practice. And the way it's going to work, we do not know what pros are coming or how many are going to be there this year. The determining factor of this event date was to try to nestle it in somewhere where we weren't conflicting with other events, and try to carve out our own weekend. I do realize that the Mugen challenges this weekend, which I hope the Mumas do amazing and have a great event. I know there's a lot of guys up there, but we're trying to carve out our own niche. So this year with Worlds and everything, I'm not too sure who's going to be there, but I do know some that are going to be there. I know Cole Ogden's going to be there. I know that Camden Lime, Spencer Heckert, David Olson going to be there. There's some top regional pros that are going to be there, like Stike Leather and a few other guys of that nature. I just don't know who all is going to be there. The more the merrier. But here's how the draft works. However many pros want to participate in Nitro or e-buggy or both. There is no limitation to the pros or any of the racers that want to join this competition. And I'll preface, like I said, I'm going to jump around. All the classes, all 12 classes we have are all trophy classes, and they all run just like any other race. So anticipate a normal race to happen. But in e-buggy and nitro buggy, the way the draft will happen is, let's say we have 10 pros sign up to do to be part of the RC Pro-Am in nitro buggy, and the same 10 pros are going to do the RC Pro-Am in e-buggy. So the way it'll work is we'll start in one of the classes to do the draft. So we'll start with nitro buggy. We will do a random draw for those 10 draft picks. So driver 1 through driver 10, they get to pick on their first draft pick either a sportsman or a intermediate driver. In doing so, they'll pass down to the next one. They get to pick one, and then they'll go to the next driver, and it'll go all the way through all the 10. They all pick whether they want an intermediate or a sportsman with their first pick, their choice. In the second round, this is going to be a snake draft. Anybody familiar with fantasy football will understand. In the second round, whoever drafted last gets to draft first. So if you're 10th, you get the 10th and the 11th pick. So if you were the 10th pro and you picked Johnny Appleseed as your sportsman driver, you now have to pick an intermediate driver. By the time the 2 rounds are done in Nitro Buggy, each pro will have one intermediate and one sportsman driver on their team. It's their choice. They can pick who they want. I'm hoping that they will spend some time watching drivers in practice, because we are going to be doing block practicing like Lance and Mark and Brian did at the North Georgia shootout. It worked real well, and we liked how that worked out. And we think it's going to really be good, especially for people scouting talent on Friday. So we will do the exact same thing for e-buggy. It's a snake draft. We'll randomly draw for the first round, and you pick a sportsman and an intermediate driver. So everybody is welcome to enter their name into the draft. If we only have 10 pros, that means only 10 amateurs and only 10 sportsmen are going to get picked. I can't tell you who it's going to be. I can't tell you, what they're going to be looking for. However, I do know it benefits these pro drivers to pick who they think is going to help them win that overall competition, because there is money on the line for the pros. All right, so that's how the draft's going to work. Now, let's go and talk a little bit about sandbagging, right? That's been a big discussion lately. So let's just say you are definitely an intermediate driver, but you want to go down to sportsman because you're sure your buddy in the pros is going to pick you as your sportsman, as his sportsman driver. Well, we think we got a fix for this event. I'm not too sure how it'll work out in other events, but for what we're going to do, I got to kind of read off some notes, so bear with me here. So the way it's going to work is we are doing breakout. So if you are the sportsman driver, and basically with your 2 first rounds of qualifying, because we are doing qual points, your first 2 rounds of qualifying, if it puts you into the top 10 or above, or basically in the top 10 of the class above you, then you are basically breaking out, moving up, and the pro driver is going to have to pick between who was left in that class. So let's just say it was a sportsman that broke out to intermediate. So whoever's left in sportsman that joined, there will be names put in a hat, and that pro driver is going to pick a name out of the hat randomly. They won't have the actual pick to give because they wasted it on somebody who was more than likely sandbagging. So I want you to understand, you need to place yourself, if you want to be part of this, you need to place yourself in the class that you belong in, not the class that you think you're going to do the best in. The whole point of this is to work together as a team and to acquire as many points as possible. So I hope I explained that properly and good. Lance and I will refine that once we'll go over it again, maybe even make a post about it so it's somewhat in writing. But that's kind of a lowdown on how the breakout's going to work. So let's talk about your points. Here's where it gets interesting, and this is why the pros need the Joes. The pros need the Joes because a pro could go out there and get a top 5 in their class, and those points are going to be very valuable. However, it's more valuable for a sportsman based on the points because they are weighted to do better than the pro. The pro is the coach. The pro is, everybody expects the pro to already do well, make the A main, and so on and so forth. So Sportsman is scored higher than intermediate, and intermediate is scored higher than pro, and then pro is third lowest points. That is to offset the points. Number one, we're trying not to have any ties. Number two, we are also trying to reward those teams for working together, and the pros to help the Joes. The intermediates to help the Joes, the pro to help the intermediate. This is a kumbaya type thing. All right. We're trying to work together. We're trying to see those those lines get crossed and people work together. Overall TQ, if you are on a team and you get overall TQ, it's worth 10 bonus points in sportsman, 8 bonus points in intermediate, and 6 bonus points in pro. And if you TQ a round for your team, it's 2 points. So 2 extra points. All those are going to be very valuable as it goes. We will have a full breakdown of the points on a board at the track, so you can keep track of it. And like I said before, I hope that we're able to keep things kind of up to date for everybody online as well. I think that's going to be very cool and very important. All right. So points, draft, breakout. All right, parking. I'll go into questions and stuff like that. So just give me a couple more minutes to finish up. Parking. We do have some trailer spots, trailer or motorhome spots available still. I expected it not to fill up this first time because, like I told you before, this is a work in progress, and, it's going to take some time for people to actually believe in the concept, want to attend the concept. And I understand that. I've been privy to building events for a long time now. So this is nothing new to me. So parking, if you haven't gotten a motorhome spot or trailer spot that's powered, they all have power and water, 30 amp minimum. And then there are a few spots left of the full hookup that are 50 amp, but they also have sewer. You can email me at brent@BeachRC.com if you're interested in any of those. They cost us. So they do cost a daily usage. The full hookups are 3-day minimum. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or you can come in Wednesday and leave Monday if you want, but it's 3-day minimum regardless. So that is that. They do have, you aren't required to get one of those, of course. They do have bathhouses, and bathrooms on site. Plenty of room and places to run generators, pop-up tents, tons of parking in the field that's about 50 yards from the arena. And primitive camping is allowed. It doesn't cost anything. There's just an area for it. The one thing, for anybody that hasn't looked it up or hasn't seen it or anything, and probably most of you haven't, this is a horse farm. This is on a farm. This is an arena built for rodeos and barrel racing and stuff like that. And what really makes this awesome for me, and why I feel really good about what we're doing, is all the proceeds go to benefit the Boys and Girls Home, foster home that basically I believe owns the property. Don't quote me on that, but they definitely get all the proceeds from it. So all the money that we're giving this arena for rent and the power and everything above their expenses goes to support the foster kids that are put up there at this system. So it's really cool. It's very, it's touching, and hopefully we can raise a bunch of money and make a difference. It's important to pre-register. It helps us a lot. If you guys haven't registered yet, go and do so. It is on live or on RC sign up. And just for those pros that might be on the fence and are thinking about coming, just to let you know how we're going to be paying out. It's $1,000 to win a class, or nitro buggy or e-buggy for the pros, and it's $500 for second and $250 for third. and that's in each class. So there's $1,750 up for grabs in each class for the pros. It's free to enter, not the races, the other classes, but it's the RC Pro Am is at no cost to be part of the team event. There's trophies for the top 5 in each division plus TQ, and then we are doing Olympic style medals for the top 3 teams and all 3 team members in each division. So gold, bronze, and gold, silver, and bronze medals for those guys on both if you make the top 3 teams in the Pro-Am. So I think I've pretty much, and track builder. We haven't discussed who's building the track. Brian Burnett is building our track for us. So I'm excited about that. I've not had him build a track for us yet. So this is a good opportunity to work together. I was really impressed and happy with the track that he built at North Georgia Shootout. And I know for a fact that he really cares about this event and he wants it to go off really well. So I'm excited to see what kind of layout we get. It isn't drawn out for this event. But I do know that Lucas is going to be on hand as his right hand. And if Lucas is involved, it's sure to be pretty bitchin'. So, all right. I am going to scroll up the comments real quick, look through what I can find. Feel free to answer any or ask any questions. Lance, if you want on, you let me know. If you don't have to. I can invite you in. But I'm going to go to the top right now and just see if I see anything before we move on to anything else. Let's see here. See that Keenan's in the chat. There's lots of trolls, Alan. I'm used to them. Lance is the race director. Yes. Question from Alan Swanson. How amateur is the AM in the Pro-Am anyways? Well, it's simple. There's 2 amateurs. There's 2 people that won't be racing for money in every team, and that's the intermediate and the sportsman. And the way that we're going to try and keep it in place is with a breakout rule like I posted. And I'm pretty sure you were probably listening, Alan, when I talked about the broadcasting. So yes, full-blown broadcast on this one. So will you need to pit with a team? You assume, Chase says, I assume that'll help. So there is no rules or anything. And this year we're not like making anything specific for teams to pit with each other or springing for a big tent for people to pit under. That might be something we do in the future. But for this year, I mean, I would hope your pro would say, hey, why don't you come over and pit with us, or something to that effect. I would hope that's the case because that's really the overall goal here. You don't have to have the same kind of car as the pro that picks you. Maybe they pick you because you run the kind of car that they run. I don't know how they're going to pick. And I've encouraged anyone I've talked to that's a pro that's coming to this event to pick based on what they see on the track. You know, there could be some form of a popularity contest, or there could be, you know, a chassis, affiliation or something like that. I can't control that at the moment. This is a draft. This isn't predetermined. And like I said, this is for sure something that can be tweaked and worked on moving forward. Will there be Modelos there? I don't know. I spent a lot of money on Modelos for Wicked Weekend. We'll see. The whale will be there. Lance is available. Let me get Lance real quick because he might have some stuff to say that I don't, or he might So give me 1 second. Let me just invite him real quick. Let's have been invited. All right. So White Whale will be there. Sean Salter, a lot of elevation and off camber, great tracks. Yes, that's one thing I do really enjoy about Brian Burnett's track. Was awesome. Yeah, lots of elevation, lots of off camera stuff like that. Let's see here. Daniel Dickerson, yeah, I'll email back everybody tomorrow that I haven't emailed yet on the camper spots. I did get yours, and you are good. Like I said, we have not sold out, and I don't think we will for this year. But that being said, yes, you're good. Can you shop up Friday and race? Oh yeah, Mark, you can definitely come up Friday and race Saturday. Arrive, I assume arrive. Let me bring Lance in. Sir Lancelot.
Hey.
So Lance is in the building. Let's see here.
Hey, Brent. Thank you for having me be a part of this event. Sounds really cool.
Yeah, I'm stoked for having you, Lance. I know you're going to make it better, and you've already helped me with ideas and stuff. So I wanted. I don't know if I forgot anything that we've already talked about. I wanted to try to cover as much as possible. So anything you want to add to my rambles already?
You kind of already touched being an inaugural event. It's kind of we're going in fresh and new to it. It is very important that people take the time to go to rcsignup.com and register for the event. The purpose of this is I base our block practices for sportsman, intermediate, and pro upon people that have signed up online pre-registered. It is something that cannot be determined the day before. I have to calculate everything out several days prior. So racers, those of you that are watching or will be watching the replay of this, it is very, very important that you go to rcsignup.com and pre-register. I don't know if Brent has a pay option. It doesn't matter. I just need you to go in there and just make sure you sign up for the class that you plan to attend so I can determine how to set up the block times. It's kind of a little bit of an involved process, but it definitely makes things a lot better, as we all learned at the North Georgia Shootout when we first did that. So, one other thing is Brent touched on the breakout rule that will be strictly enforced. It is important that you sign up for the class that you belong in, not the class that you want to win in. The breakout rule will move your times up with you. However, it does eliminate you from the pro-am portion of the event if you were a chosen either sportsman or intermediate driver. So keep that in mind, guys. If you're a chosen driver by a pro, your times still go up with you, and you'll be in the overall, but you will no longer be a part of the pro-am. You will then be eliminated. That is another one of the I'm not going to say disqualifications, but one of the things that will go against you. You're not going to be a part of the pro-am anymore.
We had a good question here. What about coming in Friday afternoon and missing the block? We will do some open practice after the blocks are done. So we'll post up what we think the blocks are going to be. We're all about giving you guys as much practice as possible. We just want to try and have people out there practicing with alike skill leveled racers. But yes, there will be some open practice after the block practice.
Yeah, the schedule will most likely work very similar to what we used at North Georgia Shootout. That we had a open practice session that morning where anybody and everyone could run in that open group. Essentially, it was green track, so give everybody time to burn the track in. Then we began a block style format intermediate, then we went to pro, then we went to sportsman, and each block was designed based upon the number of entries that had pre-registered, and it all worked out very well. There never were any really long lines. And then I want to say about 4 o'clock-ish, 5 o'clock, somewhere right around there, we moved back into an open practice session, and then we had a practice session on Saturday morning for those that were not able to practice on Friday, and that's only for those very, very late entries.
Yeah, and if you guys, if anyone's watching that didn't attend that practice, for me, and the reason why I decided, because I did have an idea to do a different style of practice, and we might implement it at another time if need be. But the way that Lance did this at North Georgia Shootout works so well. I was part of it. I got to experience it and be in it, and it just really worked. And I think everybody really appreciated that you weren't just out there with an eclectic group of skill levels. So it's to the advantage of the racer to do it like this. So all right, we have a question from Chase here. So for the people who generally qualify well but really never take the cake, quote unquote, in sportsmen, are we at risk to be bumped and lost to the intermediate? I only got the tail end of that bump rule. So I'll just tell you right now, you'll know if you're going out there in sportsman practice in your block and you come off and your times are, and you'll be able to see what your block times are compared to intermediate when you get done. If you think you need to move up before the draft, you just you go tell Lance. You tell him, like, I'm in sportsman, I'm doing pretty good, and I think that I might break out. That's on you. We're not trying. I've always been a fan. I've always been a proponent of you. Until you win something big, you shouldn't move up. And I think the biggest conversation in this whole sandbagging deal is not the fact that there's people that are getting better in sportsmen that probably are about ready to break out and get into intermediate. It's about the career sportsmen guys that should be running intermediate and just always decide to run sportsman. That's where you really find a big problem with sandbagging. But the deal with the breakout is if you qualify top 10 in the class above you, you did something. But you kind of knew that you were that good if you qualified top 10 in the class above you. So we really can't feel bad if you have your greatest race you've ever had and that's where you end up. Unfortunately, that's a pretty big jump.
Yeah. Yeah. Brent, the only thing I'll touch on is racers need to understand with this event, it's fluid. We don't know how deep the pro class is going to be, nor do we know the depth of the intermediate class. So it is fluid and it could adjust and change. So it's not a black and white, oh, well, this guy qualified in the A group of pro. Well, I don't think count on this happening, but if there's only 8 pros, well, obviously you could be in the top 10 because you could be 9 or 10. But again, I don't anticipate that happening. But please understand, racers, this is a little bit that is fluid. It is something that Brent and I have talked about in trying to do in the fairness of competition. If you feel you belong in the intermediate class and you enter sportsman, you're making us do a judgment call based upon those times. And if you're in the bottom of the top 10, I'm sorry, it's just the way we're going to have it set up. You're going to be bumped up into that group. It just is what it is. Now, like Brent touched on earlier, it's not going to be just, oh, I had a hero run in Q1 and shit the bed in Q2 and did okay in Q3. It's going to be your used times between the 2 rounds, the first 2 rounds. So, don't think just because you had a monster run in one run, you're just going to be automatically just moved up. We are going to look at things as a whole,
Right.
On the aspect.
Yeah, we did that on purpose. The third round isn't going to be factored in because the third round if you did shit the bed, we know you can have, everyone can have one really good round. We know that.
Yep.
But that's why we didn't make it just based on your best round. We did it on combined of the first two rounds of qualifying.
We understand a sportsman driver can have a good run, absolutely choose the right tire for the first round, and as the track changes and adapts a little bit, dries out a little bit, some of the intermediate guys could choose the wrong tire, and just everything just be kind of jarbled around. So just automatically just moving everyone up is not going to take place. We are going to look at everything as a whole.
Absolutely. Corey Humphreys, will we cancel any classes due to low entries? Absolutely not. If there's enough to make 5, basically it's 5 or more, I see no problem with that. We have that pretty much in every class now. So unless people don't show up, but I don't see that even being an issue, even for what entries we have right now on RC sign up and people I know that are coming that aren't signed up. We should be just fine for that. Let's see. I don't know who this is, so I couldn't tell you based off of the Facebook user. You're not concerned about getting paid, but what's y'all opinion? Where do you belong? Maybe put your name in the comments so that I know who you are and I could give you an honest opinion.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there. Asking people that you don't race with consistently and regularly where you belong. I'm going to give you my personal opinion on it. Typically, people that ask me that question are wanting to enter in the sportsman class, but know they belong in the intermediate. I'm just going to give you my God honest opinion on that. If you've never been to a large regional event before, ever, then you might want to start in sportsman class and see where you're at. So you have that all day in practice, just like what Brent was talking about. You can look at times. If you don't understand how it all works, come see me while I'm doing registration. I'll be more than glad to review a few times of the intermediate drivers, look at your times, and give you a general idea. But in the big scheme of things, the majority of us here are all adults, and sometimes you have to make a decision on your own on that one. Don't rely on us to dictate where you belong.
Exactly, and it looks like it was Patrick being a little bit of a silly kid.
Yeah.
All right, so Ryan Rand, what kind of pros should we expect? Well, we kind of touched on that. You might not have been here early on. I don't expect a large crowd of all the top pros this year. The ones that I was speaking with already had plans to test for Worlds because it's the week after or 2 weeks after. So they're testing the from nationals all the way till Worlds basically at this point. So, so I guess what I'm trying to ask is more of fall brawl where top 5 are paid and the rest are local fast guys. I think for this year, it's going to look more like past fall brawls. Yes. If I had to guess, more like the fall brawl pro style. There's going to be a couple guys that are going to be pretty quick and run the circuit around the country. And then there's going to be a lot of guys that are regionally very fast. The big thing to keep in mind though, is the pros don't score the most points for the team. The pros actually score the least amount of points for the team. So that's why we did that. And like I said, once I'll say it again, this is the first year of doing it. If I see something that is flawed or doesn't make sense after we see it actually in action or something that's a problem, we will fix it moving forward. I don't really truly like to fix stuff during an event unless it's just a very bad issue. I like to stick with how I advertise stuff and run it and then fix it for upcoming events, of its kind. So, yeah, I think more like fall brawl. If I had to answer that question, honestly, I'd say fall brawl style crowd. Although this year's fall brawl, I believe, will be more of a wicked style pro crowd.
Yeah, I would call it like a regional pro level is what I would maybe call that, not your world pro level.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's about it. I'll give a few more minutes. Anybody else have any other questions? But yeah, I'm excited about this. I know that most of you guys that are on this chat or watching this know me, and you know that when it comes to these kind of events, we all, I mean, let's face it, there's so many great events out there. I mean, Dave is the king of indoor with the race time stuff. We all look up to him and what he's doing. Brian and Mark are doing a great job with their two events. You've got Joey out west, who's, the West Coast race time. And there's great events, but not taking anything away from anybody. This specific event is meant to be different. I don't want to treat it like it's a Wicked or a SIC or any other named event. This event is made to be a standalone event, and my whole goal is to grow it from this year, and just get our feet wet. So I'm really excited. I've got, for those who don't know, I bought out Josh Garber, who did the uh,
Blue
oh my
Ridge.
gosh, the Blue Ridge stuff and the some he did another race too, the Scorcher, or I want to say the Scorcher or something like that. And so we have great scaffolding, pit lane. Uh, Jesus, man, what a long day. Warm up area ramps. Yeah, Summer Scissor. Thank you, Keenan. So we've got the right rigging, and we're, it's going to be all new for my team, but I do have Davey and Jeremy Talent and his team was who was the ones that built it for Josh. They're building it for us. I feel confident that everything's going to be really, really good. We are making a couple adjustments to the pit lane. We're going to make it a little bit narrower because it was like, I think the 6 foot or something, or 8 foot. We're going to bring it in just so it's easier to get cars if they go across or too far in and hung up. We are lowering the driver stand just a little bit, a couple feet, to better fit this venue. But yeah, this is just the beginning for us. So, I hope everybody comes ready to have a great time and to race and compete. But I also hope everyone comes with just a little bit of forgiveness, because I know I'm going to make a mistake at some point, and I don't hope I do. I just know I will. So we're gonna have fun though, and the racing's going to be good. The track's gonna be good. I've been asked a few times already about the dirt. The dirt is very similar to a lot of the dirt that you go into underneath these roofs. It is an equestrian equine style dirt. It packs nice. They tell me. Whether or not it's going to hold up, we won't know yet. So this is all new, and the track's going to be, whether you like to hear this or if it's cliche, the track's the same for everybody. So I hope that it just is fun, stays together in most of the areas. I hope it builds character. We will see. This place does have a really nice wireless sprinkler system from above. So we do have the opportunity to keep the track pretty evenly watered, keep the moisture in the track. So we will see. But lots of stuff to work towards making it better. But all we can do is start here. I'm confident in my team. I've got the Danny Paz and Lance and Keenan have got a really great thing going when it comes to the broadcasting and race directing. I think Brian's got a great track sense, and with Lucas, with everything he knows and does, I think everything is going to go real well. Can you tent camp with our trailer friends in the same spot if they got an RV spot? As long as it doesn't impede on another camping spot, I don't care where you tent camp. That's up to you guys. It can't be in the way of vehicles driving around. But yes, obviously, this is a horse farm. So we do have to be a little bit more mindful than some of the places that we go. Like if I was going to speak directly to somebody like Cole Ogden, no blowing of VP fuel cans. But that being said, it shouldn't stop us from having a good time.
Yeah, guys, I just as Brent's closing out here, I do want to remind it is very important with the block practice to please pre-register. It only works with the more information that we have. I can't stress that enough. If we are off by 100 entries, the block practice will not work. I have to base those practice schedule times upon the number of people that are registered. And if we have an extra 100 people that come in last minute and sign up, the day of the event, the block practice will not work. It'll be absolute madness because there won't be enough time broke out between the 3 different divisions. So please do us a favor and pre-register online. If you want to pay in cash, that's fine, but please pay on or register online for us.
Yes, cash at the event, guys. If you're going to pay online, pay online. If not, bring cash to the event. I'm glad you brought that up. Well, it's 7:15. It's been 45 minutes. I don't really have anything else to add. We will post anything and everything from here on to the event that we can. I just, I hope you guys are sharing this and, helping us just build the hype. If you guys are up there at LCRC, good luck this weekend. Let everybody know if you are coming to our race that you are. Maybe you might spark a little interest and get some people that didn't know about it or were on the fence about coming down. I know that Camden Lyon has a handful of flyers up there that he's going to be handing out. So, if you got any other questions, you guys message us on Facebook. You can email me, Brent@BeachRC.com, and I'll try my best to keep everybody informed day to day from here on out. I know we're getting close, so you'll see a lot more posting up on this Facebook page.
Yeah. So Tuesday, guys, before the event. So that's what, 6 days away. So we basically got 5-6 days. I need y'all, please. So Monday I can work on the block practice and have that posted up as far as times and formats. Again, it's fluid, as we were talking about earlier. That's going to be related with times because we don't know a lot about the track. We don't know how much water we're going to need to be putting on it, maintenance that's going to be required. So please understand that the times may need to be adjusted a little bit. That's related to track maintenance that I have built in. If we find out that the dirt is amazing and we don't need all the track maintenance, it's just going to be more practice time, track time for you guys. So I know I've already talked about it several times, but hit up rcsignup.com. Brent, I really appreciate everything. Thank you for the opportunity. Have all my guys come up. We've been working hard behind the scenes to prepare. I have already spent close to $1,000 on getting product for everybody. So I hope we didn't lose the feed. So thanks again, everybody, and looking forward to seeing you here in 6-7 days.
My bad. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I missed whatever you said, but I know it was important and everybody else heard you. I'll watch it later. But thank you, Lance. Thank you guys, everybody else. I look forward to seeing you guys. Looking forward to it. So
yeah, buddy.
Gear up. We're gonna have some fun.
Thanks, guys.
Y'all have a good night.
You too.